Hey, Mrs. Hubs, who are we going to draw today?
Gary!
Yeah, from SpongeBob. We hope you're going to follow along with us. You need something to draw with. We're going to use markers. You also need some
Paper.
And
something to color with.
Yes, something to color with. All right, you ready to start?
Yes.
Let's start by drawing his eyes. We're going to draw them up here in the top left. Oh, also, we're using marker paper because at the end we're going to color with markers. And we're also using 2 sheets just so that the marker doesn't soak through and get onto our table. Let's start by drawing a circle for Gary's first eye. I'm going to draw it right about here, right here. I'm going to draw it about this big. There we go. Then we're going to draw his second eye, and we want it to try and make his second eye the same size, but we're only drawing part of it because it's overlapping behind his first eye. So we'll start here, and we're going to draw a circle that comes around, and then we're going to connect back in. That kind of looks about the same size.
Yeah.
It's okay if it's off a little bit. Yes, good job. I like it. Now we're going to draw his pupils. We're going to draw a smaller circle right here for one, and then we'll draw another one over here, and let's color those little circles in. Now let's draw the long part that his eyes are connected to. We're going to draw a curve coming out of the bottom of the right eye, and we're going to come down like that. He has really tall eyes. And then we're going to draw another one right next to it. We're going to come down. Look how it gets a little thinner in the middle, but then wider again at the bottom. Okay, now we're going to draw the start of his body. First, we're going to draw a line coming back. Then we're going to draw the front. This is where his mouth is. We're going to curve down. And a lot of times you can't see his mouth, but sometimes he smiles. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's open when he's meowing like a cat. Okay, when he's talking. Okay, we're going to draw the other long part of his eye coming up and connecting right here. And we're going to come down and connect down here at the bottom. Kind of close to the other one that's up here. And then we're going to draw. So now I'm going to draw on this side, and you probably want to draw on this side and connect down. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to draw. It's going to get thin in the middle and then thicker towards the bottom. Now let's draw his shell. Right here, we're going to draw a curve that comes down this way and back. Now let's draw the top of his shell. We're going to draw a little bump right here and curve back. And then we're going to draw a curve that comes up and it's going to connect to his eyeball. This is his shell. We're going to come up really high, but it goes behind his eye. So we're going to imagine it going behind his eye. Then we're going to come out the top and we're going to curve around. Oh, it's really big. And then we're going to come down close to this line. We can even get a little closer. You did it.
Did it.
Yeah, good job. Now right here we can connect the back of his shell in. There's more detail on his shell, but we're going to add that later when we're coloring Gary. Let's finish the bottom of his body. Right here, we're going to curve out and then back in. Then we're going to add the wavy part. This is a lot like SpongeBob. He has a line just like his whole body is outlined like this. We're going to draw a wavy line all the way back and end right behind his shell. Then we're going to curve back around. And then add a little bump going into his shell. We did it! We finished drawing Gary. Well, we're not completely done.
We need to color.
Yes, we do. We need to color.
Yes.
He'll look more like Gary once we add color. We're using biannual markers, but you can use whatever you have at home. Now, if you have that same set, and you can also go over to artforkidshub.com to learn more about those markers. But if you have that same set, the markers that we're using, or the colors we're using, are Y713, the orange, R605 is a pink, B203, R107, and a purple, R703 and G902. You can pause the video if you want to pick out those same colors. Now this first part we're actually going to speed up. We'll fast forward this part. It's really simple. We're just going to color Gary solid. But then at the end you can pause the video to match the same coloring We're also going to add more details later. You ready to fast forward?
Yes.
All right, now you guys at home can pause the video to match our same color. And now that it's all colored in, I think this pink might be a little too dark, but that's okay. Let's keep going. All right, now we used our yellow color, our G902 for the eyes, but also the bottom of his body. Let's switch to, let's do orange first. This is our Y713, and we're gonna add a little ring of orange around the pupil. We're gonna, this is cool because we can just layer it right on top of the yellow. Just like that. And then we'll add that same ring around, I think this is called your iris, the colored part of your eye. Is that right?
Yeah. Around
the pupil. Now it looks more like Gary. He was looking a little weird before. Now let's switch to our red R107, and we're gonna draw the little curl in the center of his shell. We'll start down at the bottom, and we can use the tip of our chisel. We're gonna draw with it first. We're gonna come up like this, and then we're gonna curve around, and then we're gonna come back in, and then we'll stop in the middle. It's starting to look more like Gary.
Yes.
Put a little swirl in the middle of his shell. Then we're gonna start here, and we're gonna be further away from where we started, but as we get to the center of the swirl, we're gonna get thinner and thinner until we get to the very center and then a little point. I might have even been too thin. I'm gonna draw it again and just make it a little thicker. Yeah, now let's color in that swirl. What's the last thing we need to add?
It has his little purple dots.
Yes, his purple dots, spots on his shell. We're gonna use R703, and we're gonna layer it on top of the pink. And we can start here. Let's just add, no, we could be up here. Let's start up here, and we'll draw first a big oval. Right in the middle. And then we can add two smaller ovals coming down. See how I turned them so they look like they're going down his shell. Now if you want, you could wait for the marker to dry and you could add another layer if you want to make them slightly darker. And then let's add two more ovals coming down the back of his shell. These ones are small too. Oh, you did it! The last thing that we're going to do is add a thicker line around Gary. Now this part we're going to speed up again also, but at the end you can pause the video to match our same drawing. Mrs. Hobbs, give me 5. You did such a great job on your drawing.
Thank you, you too.
We added that extra thick line around Gary just to make him look more cartoony. I like that style. But you could leave that off if you want to keep the lesson a little easier.
We hope you had fun drawing Gary with us.
Yeah, we do. We hope you had a lot of fun, and we'll see you later, our friends. Goodbye.
Bye.